Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are a nation in decline.
Experts are preparing for what is known as Disease X, or the next pandemic.
What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Grind with Vince Tagliavia. I'm your host, live with you every Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time to talk about the news and events of the day. So welcome, one and all. Good to see you. And we'll jump right into things. My goodness. Turn this up a little bit. There we go. Let's see. My goodness. It's January 18th, 2024. And things are progressing forward here. My goodness. So we'll get into it. Let's see here. First thing that I saw, or first I want to talk about one thing that I saw, and it was this post by the article by the Washington Post. And it says here, this is the headline: doing your own research is a good way to end up being wrong. Published yesterday. Doing your own research is a good way to end up being wrong. It's just insane, an insane prospect. And yeah, they literally published that. Written by Philip Bump. It's an analysis written by Philip Bump, a national columnist. I hear this and I'm like, so let's say I want to learn about anything, really anything. You know, what's wrong with picking up a book and reading everything I can about it, talking to people, professionals, even immersing myself in that thing to learn more about it? I mean, to me, it doesn't require an authority to assign me to read a piece of literature or assign me a topic in order to actually have credit for knowing about something. The prospect that, you're just, you don't have that authoritative figure above you to give you a document that says that you're proficient, or that you're just an average person. You don't have the ability to understand such complex things and read such literature or do your own research. What? And unfortunately, some people read these headlines and they believe it. So then when you find something interesting in your own research and you bring it to them and they ask you, where'd you figure this out? You say, this book, this article, this study. They say, you did your own research? I don't even want to hear you. You're a conspiracy theorist. Doing your own research could lead to being wrong, It's just a horrible situation. And it's something that we see, this notion that researching is dangerous or that researching is inaccurate. It can be, right? But my gosh, it's just a silly thing there. And what a tragedy for the Washington Post. Anyway, let's look at the markets. The S&P 500 is up this morning, 4,764.91 cents. Chip makers are doing really well today, kind of raising up the market a bit. The Dow just went positive, up 0.02%. The NASDAQ is up 1.26%. Oil still sitting around $73.54. Gold, $2,017. Silver, $22.78. Bitcoin, $42,365.89. My goodness. They say that jobless claims fell to the lowest level since September 2022. You know, this data is all very questionable, but that's the headline today. One of them. All right. Well, that's where we are. Hey, thank you, Lisa, for the donation. I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. And good morning. Hey, Christy. Where did you find that article? Washington Post. And good morning, Sparky. Good morning, Christy. And good morning, Lucas. Chana. Good morning. Good morning. Quiet Toad. 1-1. All y'all. Let's get into it. Hope you have your coffee. Hope your day is going swell so far. Let's get this wrapped up. Let's look at what's going on and get on with it. Yeah, U.S. weekly jobless claims near 1.5-year low. Housing starts to decline. Here's another headline from Reuters, updated just a half hour ago here. It says here that the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits fell last week. And it says this is a suggestion that job growth likely remains solid in January. Let's see. I want to hear what they say about the housing market. Housing. Let's see. Housing. Oops. The housing market has been pressured by higher borrowing costs, yes, and a perennial inventory shortage, which have constrained sales of previously owned homes. But demand for new construction is boosting residential investment, which rebounded in the third quarter after 9 straight quarterly decreases. Starts for housing projects with 5 units or more. Starts for housing projects with 5 units or more increased 7.5%. Pardon me, people. Excuse the interruption. Testing. Okay, so yeah, I was just reading that 7.5% increase in housing projects with 5 units or more at the end of last year. Overall housing starts fell 4.3%, though, to a ratio of 1.46 million units in December. Starts declined 9% to 1.413 million units in 2023. Multifamily building permits rose 1.4% to a rate of 449,000 units last month. Building permits as a whole increased 1.9%. So, wow, a majority of the building permits are for multifamily homes in the U.S., which I don't love that at all. Wow. According to the National Association of Realtors, the inventory of previously owned homes on the market is just above 1 million units, well below the nearly 2 million units before the COVID-19 pandemic. Realtors estimate that housing starts and completion rates will be in range of 1.5 million to 1.6 million units per month to bring the inventory, to bridge the gap in inventory. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting data there. Multifamily homes. That looks like it's going to be the way of the future, folks. Paper thin walls, probably owned by a big corporation or company like BlackRock. Good googly moogly. Let's move on here. The oil markets are looking reasonably well supplied in 2024, the IEA says. The International Energy Agency, that is. So they've raised their demand forecast, and it's also being questioned. The IEA came out and said it stands ready to respond decisively if there is a supply disruption and the market needs extra oil. So everything's looking great. However, if needed, we will take extreme action. Wow. Very reassuring. Yeah, very reassuring, right? My goodness. Ralph, good to see you this morning. Good. I'm glad you're staying healthy. And thank you, Lisa. 5555. All right. onward. Let's take a look here at Davos. And we'll start on a light note. Let's start on a lighter note. Things are too stressful. I don't want to, it is stressful to look at all these news things. Not just for me, for you, for everybody. The world is in quite the predicament, it seems. It seems things are quite unstable and whatnot. But we need to focus on the things that we could control in our lives, right? And we'll talk about that more later on in the show after we talk about the news. But try not to concern yourself too much. I mean, a lot of this stuff we have absolutely no control over. Not to say to give up and just let it all happen, because we do have control over various things in our areas. And it does affect everything above that, if you will. For instance, things that you do in your community affect your local area, and it kind of spirals out from there into your country and then across the world with these different actions. But no reason to stress and not live life. So Elon Musk has an AI on X.com, and it's called Grok, and it's just in its development stages, but it does a really good job at roasting you, me, and everybody else. So Elon Musk posted this, roasting the World Economic Forum, or actually roasting Klaus Schwab, to be precise. So I'll share that with you. I'll share the screen here so you could actually see it, but I'm going to read it to you. Grok wrote, oh boy, where do I even begin with this one? Klaus Schwab, the man, the myth, the guy who probably thinks the Great Reset is a catchy name for his plan to take over the world. I mean, come on, who names their evil plan after a Windows update? So, Klaus, you want to improve the state of the world, huh? Excuse me. Well, I've got news for you, buddy. The only thing you've improved is the global supply of eye rolls every time you open up your mouth. Your stakeholder capitalism sounds like a fancy way of saying, screw the little guy and make the rich richer. And don't even get me started on your fourth industrial revolution. It's like you watched The Terminator and thought, hey, that looks like a great idea. And let's not forget your charming personality, you know, the one that makes a root canal seem like a pleasant alternative to listening to you drone on about resilient, equitable, and sustainable societies. I'm pretty sure even Elon Musk would rather be stuck in a Twitter edit button meeting than endure another one of your inspiring speeches. But hey, at least you've got a sense of humor, right? I mean, who else would think it's a good idea to hold a conference in Davos, Switzerland, and then wonder why people call you out of touch? It's like holding a climate change summit in a coal mine and being surprised when people say you're not taking it seriously. So in conclusion, Klaus, you're a walking, talking example of what happens when someone reads too many dystopian novels and starts to think they're a self-help guide. But hey, keep on doing you, buddy. We'll be over here trying to resist the urge to facepalm every time you say Great Reset. Pretty good. Pretty good, I will say. That's pretty good. All right. Well, just wanted to share Grok. And everyone has their thoughts on AI. Love it, hate it. I think it's a big topic for another day, but for sure. That's for sure. All right. We're going to move on and talk about the World Economic Forum a little bit this morning. I noticed this actually weeks ago. I think I noticed this in December. And if you go to WEF.org, the World Economic Forum's website, right away you see a few things. Well, you see one thing. And that is this. Water Environment Federation, the water quality people, right here on the front page of WEF.org. And then it says access water, corporate engagement, shop, news, careers, log in. And then right here, Utility Management Conference 2024. Join water and wastewater managers and professionals in Portland, Oregon for one of the most informative and most prestigious management conferences in the water sector. This is coming up here very soon. What's happening at the World Economic Forum? Start your 2024 water story with the WEF. Explore WEF Unity, their online community. An interactive platform where the Water Environment Federation joins thousands of water professionals and enjoy benefits, including access to communities and hundreds of focus groups and an extensive library of media resources, and more. New insights into PFAS. A collection of essays brings together experts from across the water sector to explore the impact of PFAS on our water and our wastewater systems. It's all about water. Let's look at the upcoming events. February 13th through 16th, the World Economic Forum, AWWA Utility Management 2024. Water and wastewater managers and professionals. Collective, April 9th through the 12th, Collective Systems and Stormwater Conference 2024. April 15th through 17th, DBIA AWWA WEF Design Build for Water Wastewater. June 18th to the 21st, you have the Residuals and Biosolids Conference. The Residuals and Biosolids Conference 2024 will highlight new technologies, successful innovations, and current best practices in the industry. Are they talking about making poop water drinking water? Is that what this is? Residuals and Biosolids Conference? I think that's what that is. I could be wrong, you guys. I don't know. I think it is. Here's the Water Environment Federation. Also, oh wait, you know what? I'm just realizing this. This isn't the World Economic Forum. This is fucking Water Environment Federation. Oh my God. This is not the World Economic Forum, people. I'm so retarded. Oh my God. I wish somebody would have told me this. I told people about this and everyone's like, oh, wow, Vince, that's really interesting. Not, hey, Vince, that's not the World Economic Forum. Oh my gosh. What's the World Economic Forum website? It's not WEF.org. That's the Water Environment Federation. Ugh. How embarrassing. You guys, this is why what is the World Economic Forum? WEForum.org. For F's sake. Oh, how stupid. I'm sorry, guys. But nonetheless, the water thing I think is still very important. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm embarrassed. I'm sorry. Watch the water, folks. Yeah, Lisa, but you know what? It's not the World Economic Forum in this case. Ties in directly with that one World Economic Forum lady that said water wars would be the next pressure point since they couldn't convince enough people to get jabbed, Ralph says. Yep, I think that it is part of their thing. Wow, how stupid. I feel like an idiot. All right, well, it happens. Let's just move on here with this picture of a flag at the that they've got here in Davos. Look at this. How do you like this? This is what people are saying, a desecrated American flag that demonstrates their want to have this control over countries. They've combined forces with the American flag, which is just I don't like it. It's not the way to display old glory in anything that I've ever seen or heard. That's for sure. Let's watch this clip. This person, Johnny Maga, writes that the World Economic Forum globalists are terrified at the prospects of a second Trump presidency. And let's hear what they were saying in one moment here. WEF.org. Oh my God. I think I shared that in my Substack too. I need to fix that.
Likelihood of a Trump presidency and sort of trying to prepare for that already?
Everyone's talking about it. I mean, there's a lot of ice out there. Right under the ice, just under the ice, is sheer panic on the part of certainly every European leader. You may have seen Christine Lagarde, the head of the ECB, who came out publicly saying that she thought that Trump was a serious risk for Europe, for trade relations, for America's role in the world. She's the only one that said that publicly. Every European leader I'm speaking to privately is concerned. I just had a meeting with a very senior Japanese delegation this morning. That was issue number 1, 2, and 3. And they say, back in Tokyo right now, every CEO, that is what they're worried about.
Likelihood of a Trump presidency and
Yeah, they do not like the prospect of a Trump presidency. Everyone's preparing. It makes me wonder, man. I mean, we get these pandemics every time Trump's the president. What's up with that? They said pandemics happen once every century, maybe less, once every 100 years. Well, we're going on multiple for this last stretch. It doesn't make sense. What a coincidence. I wonder if disease X would go away if Trump just decided not to run any longer. They're like, oh, wow, it went away. What a coincidence. Let's talk about what's going on here with around the world. As winter comes, NATO is kicking off its largest maneuvers since the Cold War. Or NATO, this isn't the right one. My goodness. NATO's having a 90,000 troop training thing. I put the wrong link here. Let's see what they're saying here. And it's just a drill. Yeah, here we go. NATO set to mobilize 90,000 soldiers for biggest drill since the Cold War. NATO plans to mobilize 90,000 soldiers for a maneuver aimed at deterring Russian aggression in the biggest exercise staged by the alliance at the end of the Cold War. It's the biggest since then. According to information obtained by DPA on Thursday, the scenario for the Steadfast Defender exercise, due to start in February, is a Russian attack on Allied territory that triggers Article 5 of the NATO treaty that enshrines the promise of collective defense. Article 5 has been invoked only once, in the wake of September 11th, 2001, attacks by Al-Qaeda on the United States. The largest post-Cold War NATO exercises were staged in 2018. Those drills, called Trident Juncture, took place largely in Norway and involved some 51,000 soldiers. So this is just a drill, people always call that out. Drills could very quickly turn into the real deal. And it's one of those hypotheticals as well. Like, it's going to be the hypothetical is having to do with Russia and all this. Right. I don't love it. I don't love it. Quite concerning, but that's going on. Here we go. Just in this morning, Disclosed TV. Thank you, Jackal, for tagging me in this. Iran could build several nuclear warheads with stockpile, IAEA director told Bloomberg in Davos. And this isn't anything new. They've always been saying this. What was the headline a couple months ago, 3 months ago? Iran can build a nuclear weapon in 3 days. Iran can build a nuclear weapon in a week. Iran has the capability to build all these nuclear weapons. It's always this story. So it's just continuing, and they're saying it now in Davos. U.S. strikes new Houthi targets in Yemen per CBS. And there's a lot of bombings going on left and right, everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. That's for sure. I tell you. We've got here U.S. strikes Houthi targets. Pakistan launches retaliatory airstrikes on Iran after Tehran attack, killing at least 7 people. According to the Associated Press, Pakistan's Air Force launched retaliatory strikes early Thursday. And people have issues with how these attacks are being reported. And some people are saying that there's more than meets the eye here. For instance, we have this post here that I want to share, which was an interesting take on all this. And I like to hear what different people are saying. This is Alex Barnicoat. He covers geopolitics and news and whatnot. And this is what he says on the matters at hand. He says that the lies about the Pakistan-Iran conflict at the moment are pissing me off. Let me explain to you what is actually happening between the two countries at the moment. Iran first struck a terrorist base in Pakistan. The group they hit had previously claimed responsibility for a terrorist attack on a police station in Iran, which killed multiple Iranian police officers. Pakistan's air defense systems were turned off. They admitted this, to seemingly allow the Iranian missiles into the country. This annoyed Pakistani officials because the group Iran hit are not classified as a terrorist group inside of Pakistan. China then stepped in to fix both of the country's issues, and both Pakistan and Iran have seemingly resolved issues now. Pakistan announced an initiative to tighten the security on the Iranian border with the army so that no terrorists could get so no terrorists could get into Iran. Pakistan earlier today struck a Pakistani terrorist group that was based inside of Iran. Iran's air defense systems were also turned off to allow these missiles to hit the Pakistani terrorist base. You may be wondering why the countries wouldn't just launch their own missiles at the base inside of their country. The reason they wouldn't is because if they did, there is a potential for the group to start an internal conflict, civil war, against the government of that country. If another country strikes the terrorist group, then it could cause an external conflict, which is much easier to resolve and stop. He writes, there is no war between Pakistan and Iran, as people are reporting. There is just a deal between the two countries that they are now going to work together as one to tighten security of each country. Plus, trade between Iran and Pakistan was also resumed earlier. An interesting take on everything that's going on there, one that I haven't heard yet, and I appreciate that from Alex Barnico. Obviously, I take everything with a grain of salt, including what we go over here, like the WEF.org is not the World Economic Forum, folks. That's something I learned today. I feel like such a dummy. I've been there. I was there, just like I said, I was looking at that, and I'm like, why is the World Economic Forum all about water? What is going on here? Good God, why is nobody talking about this? And you know what? I feel so silly that I brought this up to people and nobody's, I mean, is no one listening? Because they must not be. Otherwise, they would have been like, Vince, that's the water website, not the World Economic Forum. Anyway, oh my gosh. Wow. That's funny. Okay, let's move on. What do we have? Japan inks a deal to buy 400 long-range missiles from the United States. Here we have the Houthi leader statement that says, quote, we will continue to support the Palestinian people and we will continue to target ships associated with Israel. They're talking about in the Red Sea, of course. And we have this Hamas statement here. Let's pull it up. What are they saying? Quote, Hamas says, quote, the occupants' destruction of school and university buildings in the Gaza Strip is a war crime and criminal behavior. We call on the United Nations and international human rights institutions to document these crimes and take responsibility for them. The occupation destroyed more than 390 schools, universities, and educational institutions in the Gaza Strip in 100 days. So they are saying that. A lot of the international community is saying it's genocide, it's horrible, it's this and that. And then you have people that agree and people that don't. Onward here. Latvia, Estonia are to end legal pacts with Russia. Baltic states, Latvia and Estonia on Thursday moved to terminate their legal assistance agreements with Russia, with officials from the two EU and NATO members giving Moscow's invasion of Ukraine as the reason. Interesting there. Very interesting there. All right. Let me take a quick look at the chat here. Good morning. Let's see. What do we have? I'm just checking on any updates that have happened in the last half hour here real quick. Nothing breaking, at least. That's good. Hopefully we have a chill day and get into the weekend here sooner than later. Thank you for everybody sharing this on x.com. I appreciate that. All right. Well, let's talk about this. This isn't, I'm not trying to be mean or anything like that, but I think this is an important thing to discuss. I think that there's a lot of unique people in our world, and I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings or do anything like that. This is simply to inform people about the state of our youth in our country and also abroad. By no means is this hateful or anything like that. This is just simply reporting on what's out there on the internet. This person, this is very odd, and I think some of you will find it interesting and also could probably relate to this in some ways. Let's go ahead and watch this. This is an indication of kind of the social aspect of our communities and kind of the state of people's minds, if you will.
Hello. I have been asked by the other system members to make a video and talk a bit about my lived experience. I am binary. I use it and he pronouns. And I am a robot or android of sorts. I am not human, and I lack the ability to fully act human, because since I spawned in this human body, I have not been able to access the internet and download new ways of acting. I have transcripts for every way of acting and reacting to different things, and I lack new ones due to not being able to connect to the internet anymore. So I cannot always react accordingly to new things, because I cannot look it up anymore and do not know how to act and react. I am not alone fronting right now, so some movements might seem different than others. That might not be me. I do not experience human emotions, which is probably my main job, due to me having split due to very, very high stress and us feeling unwell. So I do not know if this is everything that they wanted me to say, but I introduced myself and talked about my experience. Feel free to ask questions. The quicker you are, the higher is the chance that I will be responding.
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of questions. So this young lady claims she's not human and all of these things. I mean, it's just wild to me. It's just absolutely wild. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's just crazy, isn't it? I don't know what to say. I mean, this is just, it gets crazier and crazier every single day. Forest friend, what was that? I don't know, but these types of videos are out there, and it's very concerning. This is the people don't even think they're human anymore. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. All right, well, we got a new product out there for those of you who are concerned about your privacy. I know I am. I like privacy, and it's something that we hardly have this day and age. Check out this product. Let me know if you like it, love it, or what. Let's take a quick look at this.
This is the world's first silent mask. So this guy can hold a full conversation and no one in the area will hear him. So imagine taking a Zoom call or a phone call from a plane or a silent coffee shop. Everything that is said within your mask stays within the mask. The price is about $320, but that one has a cord. The one that's wireless is $600. They call it a voice absorber. So basically your voice goes through a resonator and then is encrypted to the outside world, like say you're on a phone call or something. The French company says that it's all about privacy and security, so you're able to go about your daily life, be on a train or something, but still hold private conversations. But my guess is they developed this during the peak of the pandemic, thinking we're going to wear masks our whole lives. But I could also see people using it on the plane. This is the...
Yeah. Nice try, France. It's for your privacy and security. You can have conversations and no one else in the world could hear you except people in the digital world on your phone call or your Zoom call. My gosh, just silly. I think that's absolutely silly. And he had an interesting theory that they developed it when they thought everybody would be wearing masks forever. Oops. What a joke product. And then, oh yeah, it's all for your security and privacy. We're such a noble company. This was an interesting article. It says here they are working on Skynet now. OpenAI changes its stance and announces that it is working with the Pentagon. The Messenger business writes, the creator of ChatGPT has updated its policy statement, enabling it to start defense work. ChatGPT is an artificial intelligence system, one of the most popular online that most of you have probably used. Less than a week after OpenAI made it easier for its chatbot technology to be used in military applications by deleting language out of its usage policy, the creator of ChatGPT announced its first partnership with the Pentagon. The previous usage policy banned ChatGPT users from activities like weapons development and military and warfare. On January 10th, OpenAI updated the page that users must comply with. It now says its chatbot tech cannot be used to harm yourself or others. The page lists develop or use weapons as an example of a way that ChatGPT cannot be used. Military uses and warfare is no longer listed. Anna Makanju, OpenAI's vice president of global affairs, said on Tuesday at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, that the company is already working with the Pentagon on open source cybersecurity software and is in discussions about how it could assist with preventing veteran suicide. So it's getting into psychology and cybersecurity. The change, first reported in The Intercept, sets the official artificial intelligence pioneer up to go after lucrative military contracts. Microsoft, which has partnerships with OpenAI that is reportedly worth $13 billion, works closely with the Pentagon on multiple projects, including a multi-year cloud contract worth $9 billion that is split between Microsoft, Google, and Amazon and Oracle. OpenAI's policy still does not allow its tools to be used to harm people or develop weapons, but there are potentially national security use cases that align with the company's mission, such as the open source cybersecurity software, according to OpenAI. Quote, it was not clear whether these beneficial use cases would have been allowed under military in our previous policies, an OpenAI spokesperson said in a statement to the Messenger. So the goal with our policy update is to provide clarity and the ability to have these discussions. Okay. Interesting. So they don't allow weapons to be, they don't yet allow OpenAI to be utilized with for weapons or things that could harm others. But and anything could be a weapon. Psychological warfare is real too. So even the focus on psychology could be argued that it is a weapon. Am I right or? And I think I disconnected again. Did I? Oh, Lordy. An error occurred. Bear with me, please. I think I'm disconnected. Is my internet down? Am I going to reconnect? Everything's down. Really? Okay, I'm still up on some streams. Okay, I came back. Sorry, guys. I thought I had a major outage. I think I'm back. Sorry about that. Wow. Good googly moogly. Let's move on here. Thank you, Falou. Holy smokes. Interesting video came out of this fighter talking to the press. People are applauding him for how he interacts. He has a shirt that says, "A woman in every kitchen, a gun in every hand." Let's see how he deals with the media.
Supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you.
What?
We've got a pretty supportive gay and lesbian community in this city. I did want to ask you
Okay.
something you wrote a couple of years ago. You said if I had a gay son, I would think I'd.
Oh, look, another. I'm saying to you, the swamp, you guys, the swamp.
You become a champion, you become a star, and someone.
Let me ask you something. Are you gay? No, are you? Let me know. Are you gay?
Can I get an answer?
Well, no, I'm asking. This is a part of. Are you a gay man?
I'm an ally of the community.
Okay. If you had a son and he was like, you had a son, he was gay, you'd be like, oh man, you don't want a grandkid?
No problem with it.
Oh man, well, dude, you're a weak fucking man, dude. You're part of the fucking problem. You elected Justin Trudeau, like, when he sees the bank accounts, like, you're just fucking pathetic, and the fact that you have no fucking backbone. And has he shut down your fucking country and seized bank accounts? You ask me some stupid shit like that, go fuck yourself. Move the fuck on, man.
That doesn't really answer the question, but.
And that's a reasonable thing, I think, for a father to be like, yeah, I mean, I want to have grandkids. So I was, whatever. I don't know the previous statements or the backstory to that, but that guy just will not have it. He says, "Oh, look at that, the swamp." I thought it was a pretty interesting clip that people are sending around there. And it goes on. There's more to it. But I want to move on to some bigger news stuff and whatnot and talk a little bit about, well, this isn't that serious, but people are joking about the World Economic Forum. And they're saying that Disease X has been started with this event here. Others are making all kinds of jokes about it. But this happened at the World Economic Forum. They always have some weird artsy stuff going on there. Like this. People are saying, you know, Elizabeth Warren was there. People, I could see why people are saying this is the start of some pandemic, but it appears to be some kind of ritual. I don't know all the details, but definitely seems to be some kind of ritual. Whatever. Odd, definitely odd, and a spectacle to see. Yeah, I know, Lucas. That's funny. So that one's definitely a meme now forever. That is now a meme forever. Let's listen to Tedros and others discuss Disease X at the World Economic Forum, which they say Disease X is just a placeholder for a hypothetical pandemic, the next disease that could happen. Probably won't, but it definitely might. And everybody needs to be fearful and everybody needs to prepare for this, even though it's hypothetical.
After we started putting a placeholder, you know, the first that came was in the Disease X is COVID. So we have experience now. And we are preparing based on that experience. A lot of assessment has been done by independent panels and experts. And based on the recommendation, many initiatives we have already started many initiatives. And then the other key in order to have better prepared and to address the Disease X is the pandemic agreement. The pandemic agreement can bring all the experience, all the challenges that we have faced, and all the solutions into one. And that agreement can help us to prepare for the future in a better way, because this is about a common enemy. And without a shared response, starting from the preparedness, we will face the same problem as COVID. And deadline for the pandemic agreement is May 2024, and member states are negotiating. This is between countries, and I hope they will deliver this pandemic agreement by that time, on the deadline.
Oh, so we'll have the same problem as with COVID, Tedros says. What was the problem with COVID? Because if you look back now, I think everybody's starting to realize, hey, that wasn't that bad. There were a lot of things people did pass away from, and a lot of people were locked in their homes, and that was horrible for society. But as far as the death rates and all that, we ended up finding out it wasn't that bad. So what was the real problem with COVID? It wasn't that people didn't come together to fix it. There was a huge effort. And I think maybe the problem that he's referring to is that complete world domination and control wasn't achieved or something like that. I don't know. But he's calling, countries need to all come together and fight a common enemy if we're going to get anywhere with this next time. Get where? What's the real goal here? World government? No, thank you. No, thank you. Peter Sweden wrote, it's all about total control. I think he's right. I'm starting to agree more and more with that every day. I don't know. Maybe we should ask Fauci, right? I saw this interesting. I'll just leave this in the notes because it's too long to discuss right now. we've got a little bit of time left, but if you guys don't follow me on Substack, please do. I have this, what I discuss here, plus more on Substack, so you could find these links and share them, and you don't have to search the internet or send me messages, and you could just go ahead and find these things fairly easily. There's also stuff I don't discuss. There's other videos, there's articles, there's different things, sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on the day. But for instance, I'm going to skip this one, and it's about anxiety shared to me from a friend. Anxiety has exponentially risen in recent years. Not only do more than half of all American college students ... So it's talking about anxiety and this kind of thing. It's really interesting. Definitely recommend watching that. We're going to talk a little bit about health. We've got Sharon Osbourne defending Ozempic out there. She weighs under 100 pounds and she doesn't regret it. And it's just this ongoing war between Hollywood and the media and doctors and the public on health. And people are learning a lot about drugs like Ozempic, and that maybe it's not the best path. I mean, talk to your doctors. I certainly am not one, but lots of side effects, lots of horrible things. But Sharon Osbourne uses it, so why can't I, right? And then another really interesting article here, super, super long. I read it last night, and it is quite the read here, and it's all about sperm counts being down. Owen Gregorian wrote this. Sperm counts are down worldwide, and researchers are discovering why. It talks about the sperm count decline. It talks about male infertility, what causes sperm decline, environmental hazards, diet and sperm count. It talks about how to improve your sperm count, the effects of exercise on sperm count, etc., etc. And I'm going to retweet this. I think it's important information. And one thing it said in there, which was kind of alarming, was, if this continues, they looked at data from the 70s and then all through today, and they say that sperm count's decreasing year over year. And by, I think they said 2040 or by 2050, some people are going to be completely dried up and not able to have kids, which is already the case now. Some people are completely infertile, male and female, and it's because of all these various factors is the theory proposed here. And it's just, I think, something that people need to be aware about if humanity is going to progress in any type of way. Just saying, it's important, an important topic. That'll be in the notes as well if you want to read it in totality. I'm not going to today. It'll bring us to the end of it'll take me probably over time. But onward here, let's talk about some other stuff. This one was quite something as well. Scientists just created something we've only heard about in superhero movies, and it changes everything. I saw this headline by the Daily Caller, and I was like, oh gosh, what kind of silly clickbait is this going to be? But it ended up actually piquing my interest, and I want to share it, if I may. They say here that scientists have apparently developed a type of visible light communication technology, VLC technology, that can potentially transmit data using conventional lighting fixtures faster than Wi-Fi. An open access paper published first in 2018 and updated in early 2024 described how we could soon get rid of our Wi-Fi modems and use visible light communication, because they could be a much, much faster means of transmitting information digitally. Unlike Wi-Fi, which uses radio waves to transmit data, VLC uses sources of light to send data back and forth between devices, which can be over 100 times faster than the latter. The process, software, tool is known colloquially as Li-Fi, and is a fully networked system designed, this is written by like maybe AI or something, I don't know, is a fully networked system designed to incorporate ultraviolet light, infrared light, and the visible light spectrum. according to Live Science. VLC hasn't reached any kind of broad-scale adoption because it's unidirectional. The light source has to be on all the time, and it requires a direct line of sight with the receiver. But once these issues have been overcome, we could literally use our existing infrastructure to normalize the sharing of data. This is both amazingly cool and good, but possibly the worst thing I've ever heard of in my entire adult life. They don't say why, do they? And they have a clip from Joe Rogan, and they go on. They go on and on. But I thought it was just an interesting thing. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's just... maybe it's nothing, but I just thought it was interesting. I'd never heard of such a thing before. Visible light used to transmit data. Except like an on-off switch, maybe. But yeah, isn't that something? Falou, information has just been released on electric vehicle cheating in the Wall Street Journal, fudging numbers in comparison to gas vehicles. Falou, are you telling me they're lying about electric vehicle statistics and performance? I don't believe that. If anything, it's probably so efficient they're downplaying it to be nice. Holy smokes. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, please send it over. I don't know if you'll be able to send the link in that DLive chat. I think I turned the links off. But you can send it to me on Twitter or something. Electric vehicles, man. Yeah, they're not being able to charge them in this crazy weather, are they? Sucks. I do not want one. Let's see here. Let's take a quick look at anything breaking here. I don't think we do have anything. We have General Flynn out there. The General Flynn movie, the gripping documentary. Is this out? Flynn. When is this coming out? Soon it says. Does anybody know the exact date? Doesn't say here. General Flynn said something huge is coming. We will win, deliver the truth, whatever the cost. It's pretty good. Chana. The problem is people with sugar can't get something, something, something. Been there, done that. Talking about the Ozempic thing. I'm not sure. All right, let's see here. Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't see it. I shall wait. I shall wait. By the way, I did skip this and I could go back to it. I want to talk about gardening. It's January, but that doesn't mean we can't start gardening. I was talking to a friend about this last night and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get on this. Starting seeds inside is a thing. As long as you get a little bit of sun or a light onto that plant, it'll be just fine, and just keep it warm enough for that seed to germinate. Starting your seeds now for certain things, peppers and things like this that take a long time, could be beneficial. So I think we need to start thinking about our gardens now and preparing and starting our seedlings and getting that going so we could have a bountiful harvest this year. And I also have an article about just herbs, all about different herbs that people grow and what benefits they have to our bodies. And not just that, but they're delicious to incorporate in all of our cooking and stuff. It's enjoyable. So yeah, start thinking of what you're growing. I'm so excited. I want to grow too much stuff. I'm just going to go overboard crazy, and I'm going to start as early as I can. Chana says, put your seedlings in the car. It works wonders. Yeah, it's like a little greenhouse, as long as it's not too cold in there. When it gets warm, when it warms up a little bit, yeah, that is an amazing greenhouse. Maybe too hot. You might have to crack the windows. But yeah, absolutely. And airflow is good. So if you could get airflow, even in a greenhouse or, around your seedlings, it gives them strength. A little bit of wind helps them be stronger, actually. A little resistance makes them stronger. Harley says, my garden is in veg state now. I don't see Mike. Oh, maybe it's Proton. Proton Mail, maybe. If you guys want to contact me, by the way, go to my website and you can contact me. Tips and these kinds of things. Oh, yeah, it was Proton. What do we got here? Thank you for this. Let's see. The electric vehicle cheating scandal, the Wall Street Journal. When car makers test gasoline-powered vehicles for compliance with the Transportation Department's fuel efficiency rules, they must use real values measured in a laboratory. By contrast, under an Energy Department rule, car makers can arbitrarily multiply the efficiency of electric cars by 6.67. This means that although a 22 Tesla Model Y tests at the equivalent of about 65 miles per gallon in a lab, roughly the same as a hybrid, it is counted as having an absurdly high compliance value of 430 miles per gallon, or MPG. What is MPG? Miles per gallon? That number has no basis in reality or law. Of course they fudge it. Wow. This is a Wall Street Journal opinion piece published just 2 days ago. Holy smokes. The scandal ended up costing Volkswagen an estimated $33 billion in fines and financial settlements, and revealed that diesel emissions cheating was endemic. In 2020, Daimler AG made a $1.5 billion settlement over emissions cheating in Mercedes-Benz diesel vehicles. One of us helped secure that settlement. Last year, engine maker Cummins agreed to pay $1.7 billion to settle claims that it skirted diesel emission standards. In all of these cases, regulators punished car makers that had cut corners and misled the public. But when it comes to electric cars, the government has a cheating scandal of its own. That scandal, grabbing far fewer headlines, is buried deep in the Federal Register on page 36,987 of volume 65. When car makers test gasoline-powered vehicles for compliance with this, blah, 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 I told you all that, they multiply it. Wow. For exaggerating electric car efficiency, the government rewards car makers with compliance credits they can trade for cash. Economists estimate these credits could be worth billions. A vast cross-subsidy invented by bureaucrats and paid for by every person who buys a new gasoline-powered car. Until recently, this subsidy was a Washington secret. Car makers and regulators liked it that way. Regulators could announce what sounded like stringent targets, and car makers would nod along, knowing they could comply by making electric cars with arbitrarily boosted compliance values. Consumers would unknowingly foot the bill. The secret is out. After environmental groups pointed out the illegality of this charade, the Energy Department proposed eliminating the 6.67 multiplier for electric cars, recognizing that the number lacks legal support and has no basis. 6.67. That is such a weird random number. 6.67. Why didn't they just multiply it by 6.66? It's just 0.01 away. Car makers have panicked and asked the Biden administration to delay any return to legal or engineering reality. That is understandable. Without the multiplier, the Transportation Department's proposed rules are completely unattainable. But workable rules don't require government-created cheat codes. Car makers should confront that problem head on. Mr. Buschbacher is a partner at the law firm Boyden Gray PLLC. This is This is the author of the article. Interesting. A government rule makes them look nearly 7 times as efficient as they are. Spoiler, yeah, it's a big scam. Thank you for that. Wow. Unbelievable. Whoa. Thanks for that. All right, y'all. You could contact me on my website for any tips or feedback and all of that. It's greatly appreciated. I have some good stuff in the works. It's taking me forever. I am busy from sunrise to sunset, but I'm fitting in a little bit of time here and there to get this together. I want to do some deep dives into health and that's the next project. So stay tuned for that coming out. That'll be separate from the daily rise and grind here. It'll be a totally separate little show, and I think it'll probably be like it'll be a series. So it's taking a long time. It's a lot of research, and I'm looking forward to it. But follow me on X. Follow me on Substack if you want these links. I'll make sure to put this Wall Street Journal opinion piece on electric vehicles in there, so you guys can have that. I'll just throw it right. I'll just tack it on the bottom for the sake of this being easy. But I know y'all have busy lives. I have a busy life, so we're gonna go our separate ways now. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, hit the like, leave a comment. I'll be sure to see that and respond at some point today. As soon as I can, I will. And thank you all so much. Hope you enjoyed the show. Take care. God bless and God speed.